they have voices. Anyways, let's go for the next game.
Yeah, the intro was unfortunately interrupting you a little bit.
Oh
I'm
yeah, I
sorry.
was
I'm
trying
sorry.
to let it happen because
Yeah,
I didn't know when you were playing it. Very sorry about that.
it's
Top 3
automatically.
production, of course,
Yeah, top.
on our side there.
Yeah, so yeah, actually the people call me the teddy bear, but I don't know if that is really because of my voice or because
Probably because you're fat. I
yeah.
didn't say that. I'm just joking, of course. Let's actually get back to the game of Starcraft 2 here and introduce our players spawning to the top right hand side of Frost. It is going to be the Red Cirque playing for Team Acer. It is Bly.
And of course, spawning in the bottom left side, we have our blue Terran player who goes by the name of Empire Cass. Alrighty, Elmo. We have an ace match. Isn't that
Yeah, we
exciting?
do. It's very exciting, and especially because the score currently is 1-1 here, and this is a best of 3 situation. So the player who takes this game will advance on into the grand finals and will play the winner of the open bracket, which of course will not be a pro player, but at least a semi-pro player. Looking at the grids, we have Lakota in there, and if you were watching that yesterday's Late Night Cup, you know who Lakota is.
Yeah,
Also playing for
Lakota.
Love Your Girlfriend, and he's also definitely, even though he's playing in the in the open bracket, he's definitely also a very tough player that maybe the winner of this game has to face.
Yeah, for
I
those
say maybe because he's not through the finals just yet.
for those who were watching the Late Night Cup, of course, casted by Poison TV, every Friday night. Yeah, we do see did see Lakota actually doing very well. So yeah, would be cool to see him fighting it out in later on against the winner of this very game series. And going to this map, Frost is the map of choice here for Bly. I would definitely say it is in favor for our reserve player, as it is not only a wide open map but also cross position.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more with you there. It's definitely a little bit favored towards the Zerg player here, but I mean, Cass has showed some great plays in the previous game, so he could definitely also make this game happen here for him.
And yet again, we do see 6 Zerglings now on the way here for Bly. Probably no additional Zerglings, but they dealt very well against the Reaper harass we were seeing in the early stages. And he's not yet decided to go for any gases, so probably will be investing more into his queen and drone production. Oh, but look at that, he's actually moving out with all these Zerglings. So no defenses here against the Reaper. The Queens have to deal against it, which they are doing quite well so far. Empire Cast has to retreat here for the moment, losing quite some health, but at least not even seeing if the gas was taken or not.
Also, the Lings are now trying to deny the CC from going
Oh,
down, and
will
if they
they?
focus on to the SCVs, they could maybe get it.
It's close! Oh, he
Ah, no, they
didn't!
will not. And also the wall-in is just lifted in time, so therefore those Zerglings will most likely not get anything done here. But of course they are kind of delaying Cass just a little bit from sliding down the workers, which could really come in handy later on, maybe.
Well, he's not even killing one worker though. Cass did hold this quite well, I have to say. 6 Zerglings killed without losing any unit, and well, at least Bly was seeing what exactly Cass is doing, and can prepare accordingly, not going for a very early third base, which I'm kind of surprised he doesn't tend to go for. Maybe he seems, yeah, he's smelling that risk here that Cass might be harassing him with the small force now on the map already.
And that could very well be happening. We have 4 Marines, the Reaper, and 2 Hellions out there will now enter the natural. There are 2 Queens in position, so Bly should be fine. But of course the third base is still very, very vulnerable. And if Cass finds out about that, he most likely is going to put pressure onto that. We have now 4 Queens chasing after that army. 1 Overlord did go down, but that's actually bearable damage. And yes, Cass will find that there has been indeed a third base thrown down by Bly and is now trying to attack that. Of course, there are 3 Queens slowly but steadily inching their way over to there and will chase those units away eventually. But they have to be careful not to go down, because that's actually some nice macro we see out of Cass here.
Yeah, very, very well indeed, and the Queens just now have the energy actually to go for any transfusions. Oh no, transfusion energy, this is horrible actually for Bly, losing so many Queens already, and he might even get another Queen snipe.
Yeah, he probably will get that
Oh
fourth
my.
Queen, but the wall in has been sealed. Sorry for that if you could hear that. I was just drinking something. Third base now still under fire. Those Hellions are doing some amazing work, and eventually the cancel could be forced here. There are no real units out to deal with those units, and so the third base is dropping lower and lower on HP, is now about at 50 or 40%. There are 2 more Queens arriving at the fight scene, but that's still a lot of units there for the Terran player, and Bly has to be very careful not to lose more Queens.
Oh my, this is horrible news here for Bly, who didn't actually build up any units except the Queen. So he's on 2 bases, mining a lot of gas. He's now getting the 1-1 upgrades here. So will try and go for a Ling Muter playstyle, but he will lose the 3rd base, and this is huge.
He's going to lose that most definitely. The Hellions are just doing way too much damage to that hatchery. I never thought I would say that, but I now did. It's actually now down to 14 HP, so 1 more volley of a Hellion should clean that off. The Queens are also now dying one after another. The wall in is not actually Hellion proof here, but there are some links spawning right now that will clean off those units. Can they finish off the hatchery yet again?
Yeah, they can.
I was kind of worried that he would not finish off that hatchery, but
that would be, I think, even, yeah, no, that would be just bad. I mean, they definitely paid out for themselves, so Empire Cast had enough time to set up a lot of barracks right now, even having the 1-1 upgrade here almost finished. So he's more than in a comfortable position, I would say, to to get even more units out and maybe go for a timing attack here by about 12 to 15 minutes.
that could be his plan. Of course, Bly already working on his +2/+2, as well as the infestation pits, so he definitely will have a lot of units at this time, or not a lot of units, but very, very powerful units at that time. I mean, think of the combination Speed Banelings with Fungal Growth.
Oh, but he,
That is one of the coolest
Grove.
combinations that one could think of.
And not getting the Spire. Very peculiar style here we're seeing from Bly. And I like it. I like it. So we might even see some. No, I definitely gonna be Ultraless, I would say. Ultraless later on. Not going for Broodlords. I think Broodlords are pretty much outdated, especially in the ZVT.
Alright, Bly is now trying to prevent that third base from landing with his circlings, but of course the main army of Cass will arrive at the scene and chases them away so that the base actually can be landed. Mules are immediately thrown down. Also a couple of bunkers are thrown down to create something like a wall off here so that any further links cannot sweep them past and go for some run-bys.
Right, so Bly is now able to establish the 3rd base. Getting the additional gas, also having the 4th base right now. But Chaos definitely in the superior position, having 66 SCVs, having the 3rd base, and just the comfortable production facilities he needs to deal against any units. And look at that, he's even getting 2 additional factories, so a lot of siege tanks, a lot of marines will be in production.
Absolutely, but Cass is now moving out. He has no medevacs just yet. I think he's only now producing the first of them. Or they are somewhat behind. Oh, but look at those infestors. Ooh, sneaky infestors burrowing beneath the army, and will maybe throw down a couple of infested Terrans into the main, or into the natural mineral line. Which could be kind of cool.
Oh,
if
the
you think of
turret
it.
is there, but I don't know if he can see it. He sees some red dots in his base, but it is very hard to see. Therefore, now Investor Terrans in the main and in the natural base. This is very good play here by Bly.
Wow. A lot of damage will be done here by those infestors at the same time. We have a huge bailing connection.
Oh
Look at
my
that.
god.
Oh my god, everything is dying. That was painful to watch.
Wow.
Ooh.
That was awesome. And Bly coming back into this game with a huge blow. 22 worker kills, and not only that, clearing off the main army while Cass was actually busy defending.
That was painful. And look at the production tab right now. 7 Ultralisks as well as chitinous plating is on the way for Bly here. And I mean, so far he's just been doing a phenomenal job, especially with those infestors that are still alive. One actually has 14 kills, the other 6, another one has 2, and the last one has 1 kill. And I think that already speaks for itself, that now we even have a small run by here by a couple of Zerglings that will finish off the reminders of economy as we have another drop inside the 4th base of Bly. But I mean, yeah.
Cass
Those
must be biting his lips, going for that attack and then being surprised by the Infestor Terrans. And the Infestors will be cleaned out eventually, but they did their job. They did win him so much time, and now the chitinous how do you pronounce it? Chitinous plating? Chitinous, okay. I'm sorry. Chitinous plating, of course. Being finished, and the Ultralisk now trying to go into the 3rd base, trying to do as much damage as possible. He needs to be careful of the splash damage of the siege tanks, though. Oh, but he's gonna go for it anyway.
Those bailing connections have been huge so far. Of course, those Ultras with only 4 2 upgrades, they are still a little bit vulnerable against those Marines, but they are still doing a great work. More and more Zerglings coming in as reinforcements. They will clean off the remaining siege tanks, whilst 3 other Ultralisks are currently cleaning out the natural mineral line from its harvesters. And Cass drops down to 70 supply to 124 for Bly, and Bly already getting ready for the tech switch here. He's throwing down that Spire, and I mean, if those Ultralisks will be cleaned up, then we will have a huge pack of Mulisks coming towards Cass. And I think by then, his chances of winning will be pretty slim.
That is very true. Cass is still
oh no!
getting
Igma works. Broodlords is his unit of choice.
I'm surprised by that. I mean, he could have really gone for the Mutas. There isn't that much anti-air here. But I think
that is very, very true. And I mean, also think about the siege things that Cass is, of course, implementing to his army. While we have another Ling run by here into the 3rd base of Cass, taking out once again a huge amount of workers. But think of the siege tanks. While we have, I really cannot finish my point here. While we have Ultras streaming into the natural, taking out all the units and production facilities, they will eventually go down here, because by now the Marauder count is actually pretty high. But now I think I can say it. Think about the siege tank that Cass is implementing to his army. They will throw off a lot of friendly fire, and once they are forced to unsiege, a huge pack of Zerglings could stream in there, or maybe Ultras or whatever.
Yeah, you're completely right. This is phenomenal play here by Bly. He's getting another base. He's getting additional gas here as much as possible. Even some more infestors actually going into the main.
Those infestors are still alive, or at least one of them.
Yeah.
Is astonishing.
Are you kidding me? 70 worker kills. This is phenomenal harass by Bly, and now he's getting to 9 Broodlords and 6 infestors on the way.
Absolutely, 6 infestors. They will be able to cast a lot of fungal growths. Also, of course, 16 banelings in the morph here for Bly, and also think about the banelings that could then do a lot of damage once the siege tanks are forced to be unsieged. I think everything is just going perfect so far for Bly.
Yeah, we cannot emphasize it enough. So what can actually Empire Cass do against this? I think he will be GGing out here as soon as he's seeing the Broodlords. He's expecting the muter switch. But there we go. The Broodlords are approaching. The
They
Broodlords
are
are
approaching slowly
approaching.
but steadily. There we go. There's the unsiege of the tanks, and there we go. There are the Banelings. Slowly but steadily inching their way over. But look at just those Broodlords. There's nothing. And with nothing, I mean absolutely nothing that Cass at the moment can do about them. There we go. There are the Banelings retreating.
The
forward again.
mines doing a little bit of damage, but here we
There
go.
we go. There's the Banelings.
The Banings are trying to go into it, but not wasting them onto the Marauders. Very, very good micro here by Bly, being very
Wow,
patient.
look at the funnels. GG. Beautiful play by Bly, and he will advance into the grand finals. Well done there by the Acer player.
Yeah, indeed. The Ukrainian Zerg player here baiting it out, and just phenomenal play we're seeing from these players. And I mean, Empire Cast is just a hard nut to crack, and Bly just making it possible. Especially the first round was just, yeah, he was just dominating Emperor Cass, and now in the third base, switching up his style, going the Ling Ultra and especially the Infestor instead of the Roach Hydra. It was just perfect.
Indeed, and Bly will advance into the great finals. As I said, he will at least win 50 euros. He can make it 100 if he wins it, and he will play against either Fairpoint or Avis. I was saying Lakota previously, but I kinda looked at the grid the wrong way. Sorry about that. So either Fairpoint or Avis will be his opponent. Really cannot tell you too much about those two guys, have not really heard about them. But since they made it all the way through the open bracket, they probably are not bad players. So we could see an amazing final coming towards us here.
Yeah, guys, so you should definitely stay tuned for the final games here we are having in the GCC SC2 Open Cup. And my name is Gentle Giant, and I'm here with Elmo, and we will be right back with our next games.
Don't forget to follow.